Okay, so they're going like the Avengers opening route of like, okay, here's a sample of every character. Then you probably like pick your favorite at the end. Is every version of King Shark totally different? Like, it's enough to the point where it's like, okay, there's one King Shark that's a god, one King Shark that's a prince, one King Shark that's like a murderer. Like, none of it's consistent. Guess where King Shark started? Guess King Shark's origin. It's probably some Silver Age, 1940s, 1930s. No. It is a 1990s Superboy comic. You know, maybe the lack of consistency with King Shark's characterization is because he's so new. It feels like Heavy in Team Fortress 2. Like a very fast version of Heavy from Team Fortress 2. Alright, Boomerang's the one that I really hope is fun. That's neat. I like that. See, that's what Hulk's jump should have been. Yeah, that gives the jumping a kind of weight that like Hulk lacked. So the benefit that this game has, over like say Gotham Knights or Avengers, is that for all the failures that Avengers had, this game kind of got to learn from them. So what I mean by that is that like my thought is that Boomerang's teleporting in this feels like what Robin's should have been in Gotham Knights. Are we really opening the game with them arguing about 2019 slang? Okay, they have been working on this game since 2017. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt there. Okay, the game feels good though. Like, it has a sense of weight to it that Avengers didn't. That's noteworthy right off the bat. See, they're the same color as the environment, so I couldn't really pick them out. Oh, he's a melee character? Fuck yeah. Oh, melee is just throwing shit around. That's less fun. I thought I was gonna be like punching motherfuckers. If this is just an all shooting, no punching game, I'm gonna be a little bit disappointed. Oh, okay. He's got a gun too, that's neat. It doesn't do any fucking damage. Or was it because of that guy's armor? Okay, so you gotta break the armor, then shoot him. That makes sense. I like how it pays homage to the original Arkham game opening. Oh, I just realized what they are, why they're glowing. It's like the gel thing from the Arkham games. That's cute. It took me too long to realize that. Nope. Come on, you can crouch and get in there. You have no excuse, Harlequins. Fuck, I did not mean to call her Harlequins out loud. It's neat how it's like a walkthrough of the Arkham games. Interesting. Something I would have rather, you know, seen than heard, but neat nonetheless, I guess. If the game opened with this instead of the tutorial, I would have been a lot more positive about it. So Brainiac took over the world, they were in jail and didn't even know about it. Yeah, the designs aren't bad. Like, one thing I can say about Gotham Knights and Avengers, the default costumes were so ugly, they looked awful. But in this game, they look kind of fly. I dig them. I definitely dig them. I like Red and Blue Harley, honestly, but I like Red and Black Harley a lot better. I definitely prefer Arkham Knight design. I'll spend my talent points when I'm cold, dead, and off stream. It's gonna keep showing that until I hit the button, isn't it? Keep coming back. Well, that doesn't make sense because this is the first time I've opened the menu. But I keep coming back because the prompt keeps showing up on stream. I really like the environmental design here. Like, the city just looks cool. Like, you just gotta take a second to take it all in.
Please, a moment to reflect.
Same hairstyle as Arkham Robin. That's a funny observation. I put a meme in my Avengers game video about how like every video game character from the PlayStation 3 generation had that same exact design, and it was awful in all of them. I like how you can see Boomerang running to the boomerang when you throw it. Like, you throw it up at the building, and then you can like actually see him running up the sides of the building. Boomerang's the best character. Like, playing as Harley, playing as Shark, I was like, the game is getting so frustrating and boring. But playing as Boomerang, I'm like, okay, yeah, this is fun. Yeah, now I remember, this is what the game's supposed to be. I thought I just wasn't good at Harley, but I think Harley just kind of sucks. Which is sad, because I really like Harley. Then again, maybe she gets better as you level her up, maybe. There's no telling. Yeah, Harley's fun to play as, but she's hard to play as. But she's fun to watch. At least comparatively to like Boomerang and Deadshot. Deadshot's probably the most straightforward out of them. Boomerang feels like a mix of the best things about Harley and Deadshot. In King Shark, the best thing I can say about King Shark is like playing as him is like what Hulk should have been like in Avengers, and what I hope Venom is like in the next Spider-Man game, assuming you play as him. I think one of the reasons I'm not the biggest on King Shark is that the mobility is kind of lacking. Yeah, King Shark is like fun story-wise. One of the things I realized as the story went on, the way they write him, it's literally Drax. It's literally Drax from Guardians of the Galaxy. Not that that's a bad thing, just something I noticed. On some level, Boomerang feels so cheap, but on another, I don't mind it at all. I really like Captain Boomerang's transportation mobility more than the other characters. Like, it's cheap, but it's cool and it's fun. Who would have thought we got like a half-decent Captain Boomerang game before we got a Flash game? Like I said, this is almost how Tim Drake's traversal should have worked in Gotham Knights. Honestly, this entire game, it makes me think like, this is what Gotham Knights and Marvel's Avengers should have been. And it makes me kind of wonder did those games walk so this game could run? Or is that just me waxing poetic, trying to find a narrative in all of this? The game's okay so far. It's better than I expected. It's not great, but it's better than Avengers, and it's better than Gotham Knights. But at the same time, that's not saying much. Like, it looks good, it feels good, the writing and the story are good. Like, look at this city. Like, it's good, it's pretty. Like, one thing I can say about, like, the New York City in, Spider-Man, it's very, like, cut and paste, copy-pasty. It feels like at times, but that's just because New York City looks like this. But this looks like it looks like the Metropolis from like the cartoons I grew up with, from Superman the Animated Series. Like, this looks like Metropolis. It's a city with an identity. And that's one of the things that people really liked about Arkham City and Arkham Knight, is you felt like you were in Gotham, right? This feels like Metropolis, and like, I don't know, I dig it. I dig it so far. I'm like more cautiously optimistic about the game than I was when I first started the game, if that makes sense. I've talked about this a lot yesterday, right? But I really like the design and like the Art Deco aesthetic of Metropolis here. And like everything in the city, you can pretty much like explore it, kind of go inside of it the way it's built. Like, you can't go inside buildings, right? But you can go inside parts of buildings. Which, like in Superman the Animated Series, they had all these like really weird ass designs like this, right? Where you would have a building with a hole in the middle of it, and then like a train running, yeah, like this. Like train bridges running through the middle of the buildings and shit. God, and I love this costume too. That was really good, so I'm going to save that footage real quick. Oh my god, this is one of those where you don't get the points unless you have to take out one of these like slug things to like get a power up, and then you can kill the enemies. That's agitating. Okay, is that it, or did I just not pay attention to whatever the gimmick of the mission was? I think I just didn't pay attention to the gimmick of what the mission was. Like I said, I can't talk and chew gum at the same time. I really like how flashy Deadshot is. Okay, this is gonna sound silly, but Deadshot is what Iron Man should have been. I really like the way the game looks. Like, one of my big complaints from Avengers was that the cityscapes looked like empty and desolate. But this game, like, the world feels lived in. And that's probably like the best kind of compliment I can give to like any game. Like, that's the difference between Spider-Man 1 and Spider-Man 2, is that Spider-Man 2 feels lived in. Spider-Man 1 doesn't. Talking about the Insomniac games. The game is very like inside jokey with how it phrases things, like prep time, and I saw tactical earlier. I appreciate that on some level, and then I feel also on another level talked down to a little bit. Yeah, the loading, this is something I complained about in the my Avengers game video. The aesthetics from Arkham City to Arkham Knight and Arkham Asylum, like in Arkham Knight, it looks bad. It looks very generic. But this, like the aesthetics of the start screens and the menu screens and all, it's not bad. It's really not bad at all. Like, it's very overloaded with like stuff that I'll sort out and figure out later on. And oh my god, switching to loadout or talents and having someone talk at you every time is very jarring. I don't like that.
No, I don't want that.
I will not make it. Goddamn. Holy shit, how? Oh my god, no. Holy shit. I can't even believe I pulled that one off. Dang. I don't like that. The way it keeps having that stuff ding up on it. Like, it just keeps making me think like, oh, video games are slot machines now. See my mobile games video for more.
It's like this uncanny valley effect, and I don't like it. It's a far cry from when I was a kid and comic book games just tried to be straightforward comic book games, instead of trying to shill you on a new microtransaction every few minutes. And when you look through the gym menu and the purchase screen, it becomes increasingly apparent exactly what this game is. It is literally gambling for children. How familiar are you with the slot machine brain hack? Let me explain. When you pull the lever on a slot machine, your brain gets flooded with dopamine, as all the possibilities roll through your mind about what could possibly be on the other side of the box. Is Schrodinger's cat alive or dead? The world may never know!
The web zipping, or not web zipping, the grappling hook, it does remind me a lot of Arkham Knight. The good and the bad. So I'm supposed to have the classic fit and the Justice League skin, but it's not unlocked. I don't know if there's a certain point in the game, or if you just have to download it from the PSN store, and I haven't done that yet. Or maybe it's just a day one launch day glitch that everyone's having. Is everyone else having that problem? I haven't seen anything from like Twitter or other streamers. I've been streaming it since launch. The game is very like dopamine rush heavy, like, oh hey, get the reward, ding 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 ding. But then again, I mean, like, so watching some YouTubers talk about the game, it's made me re-examine how I talk about these games and how critical I am about them. Like, yes, games as a service, whatever, sucks, but I don't know. The game is kind of fun. I don't know. What I'm trying to say in a lot of words, that it can really just be summed down as I have mixed feelings so far. This is something I can say about this game. This is a game that will be, like, collected in collections later on, right? Avengers won't be. Guardians probably won't be, but it should be. But this game will be. This is one of those things that, like, it'll probably get re-released on, like, every console that comes out. Like, it almost feels like it's designed to, like, live longer than just 1 year. So there's this feeling with Spider-Man that I got that I didn't expect to get with this game, but I'm kind of starting to. And that's that this really feels like a next-gen title. Like, when there was the transition from PS3 to PS4, everyone was like, okay, well, where's the games, you know, like, and it wasn't because there weren't games. There are less games on, like, PS5 than there were on PS4. It was because the games didn't feel like they went up a level, right? Like, there was a big level up between PS1 to PS2 to PS3, but not so much between PS3 to PS4. So, like, a game like Hogwarts, it feels like a PS4 game on PS5. Gotham Knights feels like a PS4 game on PS5. But this feels like a PS5 game. Like, it feels worthy of being, like, called next generation. The worst part was definitely the tutorial. I didn't really understand that. The game forces you to learn a lot really fast. After I got off stream last night, I played it for about another 30 minutes, and then this morning I played it for about an hour and a half, and I kind of like tried to reteach myself all of the characters, and in the process of doing that, like off stream, feeling like less pressure from an audience watching me, I feel like I got the hang of it. I still don't have the hang of Harley, but like Deadshot and Boomerang are like riding a bike to me now. There's a steep learning curve to the game, and the game tries to force you to learn it very fast. But one of the things I saw someone say on Twitter that they realized is that the game was sort of trying to go for like Borderlands aesthetic, without using like the cel-shaded art style and all. After they said that, I thought that was like kind of clever, and I was like, oh yeah, that sounds accurate. Yeah, right? Like, the Borderlands influence isn't obvious at first, but after you realize it, it's like, yeah, it kind of starts to make sense. I think what I said earlier about this being what the game is, and pretty much all the game has to offer, I think that's accurate. Like, what you've seen of the stream today, more so than the stream last night, is indicative of what the game actually is, I think. Like, if you remember, I said that Avengers, the opening scene, was great. If the entire game was like that, the game would be good, right? But right around the time that, you know, after Kamala reunites the Avengers, reassembles the Avengers, right? That's around the time the game that, like, really goes to shit. And I'm praying that there's not going to be, like, that kind of moment here. Or at the very least, it's going to be more gradual. You know, one thing I can say, at the very least, even if it's the same kind of, like, firefight objective thing over and over again, at least it's, like, varied. Like, this mission, you're fighting a giant gun. One mission, you're fighting something else. Like, the most annoying thing about Marvel's Avengers was that you were only ever fighting, like, giant spiders and the same copy-pasted enemies, like, over and over again. Yeah, if you're a huge Deadshot fan, you're probably going to dig the game then. Deadshot's fun to play as. The only character I don't like playing as is King Shark. The way Boomerang Gaddafi's person that he does that finisher on, that's such a crude joke, and it's so wild to see it in the modern day. If you don't know, that was like a meme, right? Because there is this dictator named Gaddafi, and the way he died was one of the rebel insurgents shoved a knife up his ass. In 2012, 2013, it was like a trend where, like, you would take your phone or you would take a remote and you would shove it up your friend's ass, and then you would yell, Gaddafi! Like, I swear to God, that was like an in-joke common thing people did. Like, there was a thing about it on Tosh.0 even. There's like a Tosh.0 episode. But yeah, so to see that referenced, like, I didn't expect that in this game. Oh my God, I just realized you can do that. I didn't know you could do that the whole game. 6 hours in. To be fair, the prompt has been coming up all the time. I just thought, like, I knew you could do it going uphill like this. I didn't know you could, like, keep doing it when you were on the ground, though. One more shot. Fuck yeah. Got the bloody bastard. I can't do an Australian accent at all. That was so cringe.
And disappointingly male fan base.
Boomer really is a gift that keeps on giving. I love this character. And this, like, take on the character. Lex and Waller are two of my favorite characters. So just having a game where they, like, engage with each other, that makes me so happy in and of itself. Ooh, you tell him, girl. How do I feel about Waller being the main villain for... I didn't know that she was the main villain for the Beast World stuff. I haven't read any of it. I've been reading Green Arrow and seeing how she's been, like, showing up in Green Arrow, where they're just like, oh yeah, she came back and no one knows why or how, but she came back from Earth 3. But I didn't know that she had something to do with the Beast World event. That sells me on the Beast World event, though. That's gonna make me read it now. Waller versus Wildstorm was, like, one of my favorite comics of 2023. It was so good. The way they mix, like, it's like an Amanda Waller origin story, but then mixing that in with, like, trying to integrate, like, Wildstorm into DC lore, like, hey, this was always here, but in the background, and you just didn't see it or hear about it. Like, it was interesting because it was her origin and a retcon at the same time, and it worked super well. It's also a really good Lois Lane story. Like, I'm a sucker for a good Lois Lane story. Like the current Waller from, well, you know, like Earth Prime. So I've been reading some of the stuff about, like, with Green Arrow, right? The current Green Arrow run is about Arrow reuniting his family after an Arrow from the future asked Waller to like make sure his family stayed apart because otherwise the world would end, right? So that's part of it. Then there's the Earth 3 stuff, where she like basically took over that world, and now she's back and no one really knows why or how, and she's framed Beast Boy for turning like the entire universe, or from turning like half of Earth into furries through Starros. I love the current Waller's current trajectory in like the current comics, like what they've been doing with her. She's been a lot of fun. I've really been enjoying the stuff with her recently. I forget who recommended it to me on stream last night, but someone told me I should read the current Beast World crossover, and I did start reading it last night, and I really dug it. I read like the first 2 or 3 issues. I'm definitely digging it. I haven't been keeping up with the current Tom Taylor Teen Titans run. It's one of those things that I realized, like, I was like, oh, I'll like it more binging it later on than I will reading it month to month. I'm not gonna like remember it month to month. I just read too much stuff month to month. But yeah, I don't know. I dig it. I dig the current event that's ongoing right now. I'm curious what the end game for Waller is in the DC universe.